This is my house now. I live here.
What the hell are you saying? Get out of my house!
The most outstanding part of living the dream is definitely the Mii AI, the good kind of AI.
Good job, you did it.
So I wanted to try following my Mii around, see the things it do, and really just try to live that same lifestyle. This resulted in me following my Mii around for 24 hours and literally jotting down everything it did. I got the stats out and proceeded to live a single day like I was my Mii. And it went a certain way, cause let me tell ya, these guys have ADHD or something. But before I actually show you how the experiment went, allow me to tell you a bit about what you could expect to see your Mii do in 24 hours of following them around. You have to keep in mind that I haven't given my Mii everything, so the pool of things it may do is based on the stuff I've given it. I did hand it a bunch of stuff that I'd like to have in my personal life, such as a TV and a Nintendo Switch 1 game console, so that it at least has stuff to do. But I imagine its day could look very different if my town had the Ferris wheel at the time, or if it was bigger, or if I had given the Mii some gifts that I still haven't. So let's get down and dirty with it. How does the Mii AI work? Well, this is not what I meant when I said getting down and dirty. I meant looking at the data I got. Here's what makes the challenge of doing everything your Mii does a little bit unusual. If you follow your Mii around, you're going to notice they like changing what they do every 2 to 4 minutes, with exceptions being primarily for stuff where they expect the player to interact with them. For example, those events that they signal with the little onomatopoeic yellow, whatever the fuck those are. Those can be signaled for up to 15 minutes, or at least that's the longest I got it to happen in my observation. This basically means that Mii spend a lot of their time walking somewhere, doing an activity for about 2 minutes, and then walking elsewhere to do something else, and then they just repeat. I categorized all of these into different activities Miis may do, and even tallied up how long my lookalike spend doing each. An activity is anything the Miis may do, from talking to a friend to like those interruptions you sometimes get with the "what's up" with events. Like, my guy was dating this girl Spandex, and they broke up and now they're exes, which means that when it encounters her, it actually interrupts whatever it was doing to run away and look from afar. Essentially, how I gather Mii AI works is as follows. Their default state is the stroll state, where they just fuck around town and think of stuff to do. At this time, it seems every 2 minutes they'll query for what their next activity should be. Sometimes they choose to sit down and do an activity, such as playing video games or playing guitar, or other times they just keep strolling around town to interact with any items they have nearby, like lamps and whatnot. You'd imagine they'd have priorities, but they quite literally don't seem to based on the stats I compiled. At the end, Nate spent about 710 minutes being social and 720 by itself. Assuming this isn't a freak stat every other test wouldn't align with, my guess is Miis will choose a 50-50 of whether they want to spend time with friends or be alone. Afterwards, they probably check what they can do by either looking at the inventory or seeing which other Miis are available to do interactions and fun stuff with. That does mean that sometimes one Mii initiating an interaction interrupts the activity of another, which is most often the stroll, since if they're talking they don't find them available. Alongside that, it does seem like Miis somewhat calculate the time of arrival towards their destination. I do find it somewhat comedic that when Miis are going somewhere specific, they don't tend to walk through the middle of pathways, they stay to like the side for some reason. Now, for various reasons, it's not exact at what time the Miis arrive. They have a lot of variation put in there, and it's obviously purposeful by the developers. Surely they just walk towards a general direction, and I'd even say it's weird that their move speed is not affected by the quickness stat in the personality page. That definitely helps towards making them slow. The biggest culprit is these little idle animations that they do on a mostly consistent timer, which are really weird because they idle almost at the exact same time whenever they're following a same path, and it's kind of weird. Oh, but the cool thing is, as a result, you can do this fun experiment, the Mii race. The Mii race begins. What are you doing, Colin? You can't get distracted by Han Solo. They're going on pace, and Han Solo takes the lead. There he goes, jolly on walking. Oh, will he be overtaken by Bomberman? Oh, almost at the finish line. Is he gonna stop? He stopped right at the finish line. Oh, but Bomberman did too. Ah, but it seems we have our winner, and it was Han Solo. You can't stop his shine, you can't stop his shine. He's loving Cloud City, his head's in the sky. Clouds. Oh, Red Ricky? That's cheating. Just kidding, it's the opposite of cheating. I was hoping this would happen. Of course, the Rat Cat. That's just a gun robbing a shop at gunpoint. What I'm trying to get at with all of this is that Miis change up what they want to do too fast for a human to keep up realistically. Like, for the being alone bits, it's quite easy because my computer just happens to have the video games and the TV and the computer. That's fine to bundle it all into the same thing. But the social events have a problem when you think about me doing them in real life. And it's not just that I'm horrible at talking to strangers, which I am. and also horrible attacking with my friends for that matter. I need to work on my social skill. The problem with social events is that, yeah, I actually don't live like the Miis do. When they announced the game, one of the first things I said was along the lines of, "Wowee,
It's like the entire
island is
island's
an
an
apartment."
apartment.
And that's exactly what's going on. Me and Nate can just walk around for 20 seconds and find everyone it ever knew. I guess I could talk to people around my house if I wanted to do something similar because, as you probably heard, nobody in this house shuts the fuck up. Including me, the guy who spends a day screaming at a microphone every 3 to 4 weeks. I thought about using like people I know in Discord chats, and that was kind of the idea I was going to go with until I realized, yeah, these little assholes like staying up all night. In the 3DS Tomodachi Life, if you kept the game running for a while, eventually every Mii will be asleep. If you were to put up the game at 3 AM, some of them would be up because, like, imagine if you're an overworked guy and you just had a 16-hour workday and now the game's like, no, you can't play because it's not realistic for Miis to be up right now. But generally, they all slowly start heading to bed. In Tomodachi Dreams, they actually just stay up forever. I don't even know if there's an animation for Miis putting out a bed like in 3DS. This means that at 5 AM, not only were 10 of my 19 Miis awake, but also, they would audaciously discuss the sexy naked goblin as the sun was rising. This was so bedazzling to me that I even named the recording, "When will it go to bed?" I don't know! As I write this, it's 2:55 AM. Right now it's not. It was 2:55 AM and I wrote that. I wrote to every friend I got on the internet and asked them about their thoughts on sexy naked goblin. 2 people didn't reply, and the average response time was 9 hours and 7 minutes. Shout out to that one guy that replied within 15 minutes when I messaged them from my Twitter portal. Not to mention, my Mii talks to multiple configurations of friends and acquaintances that all sorta know each other. Sure, I can maybe get someone to be my equivalent to whoever my Mii talked to the most, but because I'm very bad at friends, that someone doesn't know the second person on the list. For a brief moment, I thought about juggling them, but that didn't really seem like the best choice. If anyone out there is seriously thinking I should be using AI chatbots for this, I feel bad for you. From my heart, genuinely. So because of that, I've decided to go hybrid with it. On brand. Did you see I have legs now? I assigned different people online to different characters in my island, and I used open servers when it's a group activity. But if that person is not available, I just spend the time talking to their original in-game counterpart. I did kind of run out of contacts after like 3 people, so most of these people I pestered were just poor, innocent people who dared to message me on Discord one time 2 years ago. Whoopsie! It's actually quite interesting how my Mii chose to hang out with people. Obviously, availability plays a part, but it seems like it chose who to hang out with based on its own relationship chart, and then rarely hung out with people on the outer edges of that friend group, including new acquaintances like Lucy, or other people in the friend circles of others, like in this case, Dante is one of Nate's best friends, and he is dating Han Solo, so Nate hung out with them occasionally, even when Dante wasn't around. That's all the data compiled. It's time I shut the fuck up and show you how the experiment went. I wanted to copy my Mii closely, so I started the experiment at 4:50, same as I started my monitoring.
You can see it's sunny outside. That's my garden. You cannot see it because the light is very bad. I'm recording this on my phone. So yeah, I guess I start this by just posing in my room for a while. So you're just gonna get the first person view of me doing this. Beautiful. Well, I already fell down. It's starting well, just like the Miis in the game, guys. Right, so activity 2 is to stroll. So I'm just gonna stroll in my garden and pretend that I'm normal. There we go. Do you like this tree?
So now I'm talking to somebody to my Discord server, which you can join because it's in the description. Yeah. This is my next 15 minutes.
Hi, cat. To relax under a tree. So I just stand here. How do they do this? Hi, other cat.
And this is me doing the thief event. Just reading. This guy robbed one ATM and got more time than Didi. Just so y'all know.
The person who represents Colin is not available, so now I'm doing a pose-up with Tomodachi Colin. What sort of pose do you have for me, bud?
Hey, good evening.
That's not a very good pose. Pose up, pose up, pose up. Give us a pose, Rat Bricky. It's gonna take a minute, I guess. Really? This is the pose that you want to give me? I'm stuck wanting to put something on the ground that's gonna be piss ugly. The house goes here, what are you trying to do?
This is a YouTuber server filled with pure people who do YouTube, and I've censored all the names, but you know, yeah, they are suggesting you use adblock themselves. It is beautiful in a way.
You know, I've never really internalized how often my Mii just goes into his room, okay? And now I literally have to wait. like 15 seconds to go back out. So I guess he just like sits down and chills for a bit. Do you think my floor's clean? It's dirty. And he just gets up and leaves again. Just boom, already out. He's a madman.
Yo, this Discord server has like all the Miis in the universe. Oh, these are so cool. Actually, surprising little living the dream in here. Miscellaneous fellas. Is that Jenny in my life as teenage robot? These are good. Oh my, these guys. What? This kind of fuck. I'm not even gonna lie. Yo, Pepino Pizza Tower. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda ran out of people to talk with, so that's why my personal talks with Dante just they look like this. I think they're wonderful.
So TLDR, Dante lost his pizza. I need to help him find it, but 2 minutes at a time. I need to go.
Similarly, I just used my Dale Cooper Mii in Tomodachi collection to play the part of Doggy Jones for no specific reason. Okay, I know I'm supposed to be talking to my Dale Cooper Mii, Mr. Dale Cooper. I know I'm supposed to be talking about him, but I do need to check shops. I'm gonna hang around with my other friends, aside from Cooper, but only at the beginning, alright? Don't be too angry at me.
Yo, he's gaming too!
I can't show you my treasures. So look at my corn syrup treasure.
I'm so scared of something bad that scared me because I'm a spooky little fella and I get scared easy. Appreciate him. Appreciate him. Appreciate him.
So let's talk about the ducky in the room. Yes, I gave my Mii a rubber ducky at some point, and it does spend quite a bit of time appreciating it. And I feel I needed to follow suit. So this is Robbie, spelled like this. I was supposed to use a porcelain duck I had for a while, but then there was an unfortunate accident a week ago, which is shitty timing on their part if you ask me. They could have died next week, you know? Robbie is a new one, and let me tell ya.
What's up, guy? Hey! Hey! Do we need to have the conversation about plushie cults again? I mean, Robbie's quite cool. I'm disappointed in you all. Why are you looking at me like that for?
I stared at this duck for a total of 32 separate minutes, and at one point I also had a small snack with him. Yes, that's me trying to feed the rubber duck. You wish you had a friendship like this. Here it changed into PJs, but in real life I basically wear mostly PJs because I'm a YouTuber, baby! I decided to just put on this Pikachu hat that I bought as a decoration a few years ago because it doesn't actually fit on my massive head, because the cap's for children, not because my head is particularly large. Oof, I need to change her back. Oh shit. That's the alarm. Sorry, Mumbo, you're gonna have to stay with a mosquito running through your face for 2 hours. So, throughout the experiment, my Mii got a crush on someone else 8 different times. This is weird for me because in real life, I have had a total of like half a crush. I'm not really the type to crush on people. So I just said no every single time my Mii asked, and well, I really couldn't follow suit since I'm not that kind of person. But more importantly, what do they feed these Miis? Is there hormones in the food in the air?
I'm supposed to play Pedia now, but I don't know what to play.
Here we have Nate listening to some beats. Now, me Nate listened to music for 83 minutes. Given that I gave it reggae music, I decided to find 83 minutes of dub music to listen to. These are the 2 albums I picked, since they both add up to 84 minutes total. In reality, I tend to listen to a lot of genres. I'm the kind of guy who listens to whatever, and in fact, I listen to very little reggae, but I found it funnier this way. Plus, also an opportunity to put more reggae music on my big playlist that makes no sense. I'm gonna be honest, doesn't sound really reggae, and I've been stopped by the overlords of China. Oh, it got reggae, alright. Oh, this is a vibe. Hold on. Where's the kimchi? And now I watch this. And then we stop this and go back to the music. This is my next 23 hours.
I ended up just playing this. Poke the Ferris wheel? You're not even close to the Ferris wheel, dude. Also, there's my fingy. Hi, I say hi to my finger. Say hi to my finger.
Very clearly the Ferris wheel. I don't know what I was on about.
So at 6:35 p.m., Nate went to Bean Island. It's this cool location in my island that is very normal. It doesn't look like my Mii cares about stepping on beans, but I kinda do. Yet the sad part is, I do have baked beans at home. Which also means...
I am so sorry, Mom.
And I just want to say right now that I'm also sorry to the beans.
I'm not even touching anything. It's wonderful, and one of my Miis made fun of Joy-Con Drift, which is amazing. Even they knew. Okay, so This son of a bitch goes home. He chills at home for 5 seconds. Bet. He leaves home. Then, and this is wonderful, allow me to introduce you to Moria, aka my fridge. Ice cream. Ice cream is delicious. I ate ice cream and I'm no longer angry at that fucking getting up and going away. Anyways, I have to go listen to music for 3 minutes now. Here we go.
You cannot escape him. By the way, he's still waiting.
He's supposed to stay there for 8 minutes, but I fucked it up. Back down we go! I feel like I'm on Adderall, except if I didn't need Adderall.
I was not lying when I said I wanted to watch this video in full. And this is what TV looks like, my watch later playlist. Why am I so bedazzled by these ladies doing kimchi still? Virgil had the pizza? Naked? Okay, now we can deal with the bug problem. No, he's very patient. How did that not hit? How is it alive? I apologize, man.
So at this point, my Mii just stared at Dougie Jones choking, or I guess having a hiccup attack, and he does nothing. He just looks at it, waiting for interaction. And yeah, I'm not gonna do this in real life. Forgive me for not forcing someone to choke for the sake of a joke. I'm supposed to be running away from my ex, but based on how this video is going, you probably guessed that I don't have one of those. So I'm just running away from my cat. Meow. He's pooped.
So at this point in time, I'm eating at Tomoria, but I just want to point out how cool it is that Miis who come into Tomoria for a drink just kind of get a refill immediately. That's gonna be up there for the most human thing that Miis do. I joined the Mii server to talk about Miis with people, and immediately I already brought up the whole makeup thing. Oh no, this does not fare well for me. Is it a stretch if I interpreted wanting to play minigames as prayer? Because it's basically they're looking to a higher being and going, hey God, let's flip a coin and see if it's heads and I'll be lucky tomorrow if it is. And then you decide to play no repeats with God because you're evil like that.
Now I'm supposed to bonk myself using Pepto-Bismol and run away to my room in fear. So it's 9:51 right now. This is the first actual 6-minute break that I have of just doing nothing for a while. Genuinely, these Miis need to go get themselves checked at the psychologist. Talk to somebody about this. It's insane.
It's 9:55 and I'm barely getting done watching the first video and it's just 12 minutes. What? My little Nate has a little egg that it occasionally plays around with. And so I wanted to kind of follow suit by making myself an egg friend. And here I am introducing Eggert-san, which is obviously a wait, oh, he's tripped. So yeah, this is Eggert-san. You can see, kind of a silly fella. He's also a tiny bit shy. Oh, run away from the cat! Run away! But yeah, he's pretty cute and he's my new friend.
What are you doing there? Get out of there. Oh boy, 10, almost 11. My favorite time to go touch some grass. They always told you to go touch some grass. They never told you you're gonna maybe touch a spider. I don't want to do that again. It's time to go stand on beans again. Strolling at 12 a.m. It's nighttime. The neighbors are gonna hate me. You guys can't even see. Strolling at 10 a.m.
Clapping at stranger. This is the second thing that came in my timeline and I didn't want to read this. So that's why this gets the clap, clap, clap.
I was walking home and then I spotted Cat. He doesn't really like looking at the camera because it's shining in his eyes. He knows. He knows I must go there. Yeah, we're bouncing on the bed together! Okay, so here Nate went to Cole's house and played with his fucking thing. But is this creature not a euphemism? So pretend I'm playing with my partner's cat here. His name is Roland, by the way. It's so late to be doing this. Yeah, back in my room. They all look creepy at night! Shit, I forgot the rubber duck, which I'm supposed to appreciate now. One must appreciate the rubber ducky for at least 5 minutes every day. Isn't Robbie wonderful?
Ooh, even have like a music video for it. I don't know what's going on in it. but it's vibes.
The best part is you can pretend I can actually do this. I genuinely don't want to stroll right now. It's too late and I'm scared. I'm supposed to have hiccups right now, but since hiccups aren't real, I'm just gonna do nothing for like a minute now. Good! So it's 1:32 a.m. and I'm supposed to play guitar. The thing is that it's 1:30 a.m. and everyone's asleep. Also, I have no guitar, but since I like singing, I've just been doing that instead. The thing is, now I'm whispering my singing and I'm still getting shushed. Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. That did my die, and I wanna have. I swear I typically sing things that are like more mature and shit. Time to walk into a wall, I guess. Ow.
What an exquisite bag of trash. With trash so beautiful and fulfilling it could rival like Bees games or whatever other bullshit some famous content creator has created, using all of their ego rather than any semblance of creativity.
Oh no. Okay, so Nate sang at people here. And I need you to listen to whatever I just sent someone.
Turns out playing Pedia at like 4 a.m. is not as cool as it sounds when you are like doing it in the middle of 5 other activities.
Oh boy, 4 a.m. It's time to play with Egerton.
It's a rubber ducky doesn't weigh, but it's so much more funny in the game than it is in real life. I just want to sleep. I want to go to bed. I'm sorry, Robbie.
So yeah, the night wasn't very fun. Because my guy didn't start idling for more than 2 minutes until 5 a.m, I basically tried staying up as long as possible. It was rather fine for me until like 7 a.m. since I regularly sleep from 3 to 10 a.m, but it still felt kinda weird to do stretching at 3 a.m. or just wandering my backyard. I then recorded myself playing with Egerton and Ruby, and it's genuinely sad footage. That was like 5 a.m. and I look bad. After a while, my Mii started idling for like 3 hours because he was just waiting for a player interaction. And let's just say I'm glad about that because I'm gonna take those 3 hours as sleep time. And that's all the sleep I got except for a brief part where my Joy-Cons ran out and I just decided not to fix them because I wanted to sleep 30 more minutes.
That's the earthquake alarm. That didn't really happen in Tomodachi. I don't think Tomodachi has earthquakes. It would be really cool if it had earthquakes. Would it? So it's like 8:32 a.m. and I'm supposed to get up, but I don't wanna go back to bed. Come on, Nate. Do it for the experiment!
I think I'm supposed to be a little hater because it's 9 a.m. But fuck it, I'm in a good mood. I like this shit. Yeah!
I'm gonna get back. Now this I don't endorse. What is wrong with you? This is the only part of the challenge that I refuse to do. And also stepping on beans the second time. I didn't step on the beans the second time. Egerton in the fancy room. We love Egerton. It's too early for this.
Now this album, this ain't doing shite for me. It's not even dub. I don't know why it's stacked dub.
How is it so best? Sabadai! I'm gonna go commit war crimes in Afghanistan! Hello! Sabadai!
Talking about weird things I heard.
Oh, Polyphemus, won't you try extreme touching for adults with me?
Egerton, no! No! What am I... No! I can't even stop the video in peace. I can't agree with peace. I wrote this song about my fractured hole, just like my Mii does it in the game. And now I'll sing it for you. My fractured hole is sore. My fractured hole is sore. Wish it was a tyrannosaur. And now it's gone. My crater egg will never be born. At 4 egg on the door. I don't wanna live anymore. That was straight from the heart. Thank you.
So I listened to music that somebody sent me, and you know what? Yep, I like this.
I am exhausted. Wish I knew why.
Because you didn't sleep, you dolt!
And the final task is to stare at Robbie here. Okay, my Mii ended its day by talking to Matt about SNG. But this idiot thinks it would prefer to end it looking at the dog. I don't know, it just feels more climactic this way. Like it represents the challenge a little better. Also, we're grieving about Egerton together, so yeah. And after that, I took a nap. I could just call the video over here. The experiment's done, there's nothing else to talk about, except the more observant of you may have noticed the Miis have something really strange about their behavior. Something disturbing, and I don't just mean their horrible schedule. Holy moly, I hate the schedule of these things. At the same time, doing everything in 2 to 6 minute chunks was actually kind of functional. Like, I typically have trouble focusing on stuff, and splitting events into 2 minutes was not at all good for productivity. There was a lot of running around to actually start the activities in time and end them on time. Some things like listening to music or using the computer for 5 minutes are fine in 2 minute sessions, but then playing a video game, impossible to do 2 to 6 minutes at a time. But for work related stuff, I was actually kind of taken aback at how much it just works. Maybe not for productivity if you go for 2 minutes, but if you increase it to something like 8 minutes or 10 minutes, it's actually easy to get in the flow of just doing the best you can because you have a limited time, so you want to do as much as possible within that time. Plus, if you were to select what you actually get to do yourself, it would probably be more efficient. And so it's cathartic and weird, but I definitely recommend you try it if you have trouble focusing on stuff. Another thing I learned is that not getting enough sleep makes that system a nightmare. The fact that Miis don't sleep is so unnatural, and I'm not sure why Nintendo kept it this way. Unless the player is putting up the game, the Mii should all be asleep from 3 AM to 6 AM at least. If the player is idling for this long, they definitely want to see how one of the specific Miis lives, and it's crazy to me that nobody in the AI team thought about this. However, yes, that second day, being sleep deprived did not help at all with having to just keep up with the sessions. I felt like butthole. It was really hard to flip the switch in your brain that tells you to do a different thing. I'm also sad that Eggy died. And also now I have to clean my door, which is now full of egg. Here's another fun thing I tried to do as I was doing this. My Mii's catchphrase is sub or die. At one point, it screamed the phrase at the sea like 8 times during the 24 hours I looked at him, so maybe I didn't count those, but it does tend to spam sub or die when it's just talking to its friends. I also didn't count those. Besides that, he dropped a total of 30 sub or dies throughout the day, about 1.25 an hour. So I basically just put an alarm to blurt it out every 75 minutes. It accomplished nothing, I don't know why I did this. Point is, sub or die. Sub or die. I see why he says it so much. In summation, while it's clear that Miis look human, they act human, there's something off about them, which I imagine some of you have been picking up from just this footage. So occasionally you see a Mii walk somewhere and then a text box appears that says something along the likes of the Miis are planning to gather here. At first it may look normal, but if you look closer, da 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 da. Yes, bow to me as I sneak into this video a spoiler-free pluribus analysis! Fantastic show, but I couldn't help but notice that Miis aren't actually individuals in Tomodachi Life living the dream. Maybe they also wear a hive mind in the other games, but it's less evident there because they hadn't the freedom to walk around. In Pluribus, the show, basically the entire world is affected by this sort of virus that turns everyone into the same creature. Everyone's kind of an individual, but at the same time, everyone's just following a hive mind whose main directive is to find those stragglers immune to the virus and convince them through convenience to join the hive mind, preaching ideas about how happy or good they feel. This show was actually released at a fantastic time, because although apparently it wasn't intentional, this actually does feel like some sort of critique on AI chatbots, the way AI presents as a convenience tool that makes it easy to achieve anything. Most importantly, happiness. That's apparently not the only hit Pluribus had with its release time, because it also happens to overlap a lot with the way Miis work in Tomodachi. The Miis are also a hive mind whose whole intent is to make the player happy, entertain them. It's a weird situation, because the reason why a Pluribus is bad in the show is kind of evident. Most humans know individuality is important. Then you have Tomodachi, where your main objective as a player is to grab these AIs who should have no personality and give them some. Give them objects, friends, and catchphrases that are unique to them. Regardless of the situation, the Miis not being individuals doesn't really matter. In fact, I'd say this is good game design, because for the player, it is as if the Miis were individuals, so it's all good. But isn't this a little icky to anyone else? Like, I'm not saying, oh, how disgusting, how dare Nintendo do this sort of thing, because that's a stupid opinion. But it does feel kind of narratively dissonant. Miis have always been about turning a person into a caricature avatar of themselves and seeing them represent individual players through the medium of gaming. That's always been kind of the core idea behind them, so it's always felt right for players to wish to insert themselves into the world of Miis. That design was made specifically to make us feel like we belong, and thus it's only natural to feel that way. There's some appeal to the idea of being a Mii. In the show, the Pluribus is bad. It's shown very clearly that happiness through convenience is a fundamentally flawed idea. Sure, there's no world peace, but there's almost no one there to appreciate it. It's comfortable, not good. And in the game, Miis evidently act like a hive mind because the designers figured that what matters here is for the player to think that the Miis are individuals rather than simple cogs. And design-wise, that's perfectly fine, but it does collide on something that both Pluribus and this game just happen to mistakenly end up talking about. AI is kind of a weird situation, isn't it? The entire principle behind AI has always been to make the user think they are talking, looking, and experiencing real behavior from a living being. In the show, it's clear that individuals wouldn't want to be part of the Pluribus, yet still go along with the shenanigans because they get some sort of benefit out of it. You got this guy who is going to Vegas and taking advantage of all the ladies being brainwashed, and he's like happy about this. And then there's also this lady who has a son, and for some reason she's not turning into the Pluribus, and it makes you wonder, maybe she does realize something is wrong. She has to do something but is afraid. When you turn to Miis, something similar starts to happen. The player goes along with the shenanigans because it's fun, but there's one core difference.
A few minutes ago you saw Eggertson die, and it's a horrible death and I'm still mourning him. But why did you mourn the death of an egg? I think very clearly the reason is because I gave it a face and a personality and I showed you cute pictures of him. I didn't intend for him to die. I actually intended to have him for dinner that night. But I realized after he died, hey, this actually fits very well with the topic I'm talking about with the video. The reason you liked Eggertson was partially because Eggertson displayed personality even if he wasn't a real person. Now think about it this way. The way Miis present themselves is slightly off from AI because the player is allowed to give them personality. The player being able to mirror their own personality into that of a Mii kinda results in an idea that sounds neat at first but is rather off-putting when you take it out of the context of Miis, and that's the idea of wanting to be a Mii. I have been fascinated by this saying for years, and let's be honest, it's not all too uncommon. But with the appearance of Gen AI technologies, I couldn't help but start drawing parallels between the Miis and AI. What makes people perceive them differently if they're kinda the same thing? Like, of course it's not something most people consciously said, but I do feel like there's some sort of implication that is slowly fading into a human idea, and that's the idea of wanting to be an AI. When you say you want to be a Mii, you're basically saying you want to be an AI. And if you say it like that, I imagine most people would be firmly against it, including me and you. For some reason, no one says I want to be an AI, but everyone says I want to be a Mii. And I find it super strange because there's clearly this human allure to being a creature that appears to have it all figured out, who can speak with confidence about every topic because they seem to be smarter than us. Heck, if it wasn't for the
body, they'd be superior in a sense, smarter, more immortal. People interpret it more as if they're saying that they want to be a cat or something. But see, I think that's also the primary difference between the pluribus from pluribus and the pluribus not from pluribus. The idea of wanting to be an AI sounds bonkers, but when you add personality to it, the idea suddenly becomes more appealing to people, apparently. And it's probably mostly because, you know, the pluribus suggests you're gonna obtain happiness, while being a Mii suggests you're gonna obtain your happiness. When people say they want to be a Mii, I think they actually mean that they want freedom from the humanity of the world. Our daily lives are filled with moments where we must act a certain way, be certain things. If anyone came into work and stared at a rubber ducky for 3 minutes, they'd worry the coworkers and anger the boss. That extends to all the different situations where others begin to expect certain things of us. Unlike in Tomodachi, where Miis are assigned a personality yet still fit the world around them, humans have to struggle with a personality, creating a sense of normal for others that quite literally fuels us as a race. Sure, call it societal norms or whatever, but I think wanting to be a better, freer version of yourself is an extension of the human condition, the search for happiness. Comfort may be a part of happiness, but I think people underestimate just how much it is also tied, not to freedom, but to the capability of being oneself without worrying over labels and prying eyes. You will never be a Mii. They follow labels and expectations imposed by a player, fitting perfectly in their universe, but just how in Pluribus the hive mind projects happiness and how AI projects the image of a person, Tomodachi's Miis project a meaningful life and meaningful connections, something so precious that feels profoundly human, is profoundly human, the promise of being the ultimate self without worries or judgments. But that's why being a Mii feels desirable. To be human is to struggle against the impossibility of being ideal. To be a Mii is simply to have the contentment. That's the secret to Miis. Miis belong, while humans barely fit in their immediate environment. We fight to be a simile of such, but never will. Hence is the way humanity functions, always chasing an ideal version of me, never to reach it. And that is good. It's better this way. I'm not saying it's cause, oh, how beautiful it is to fight, though I do agree with that concept somewhat. I mean to say that it's these impossibilities that give real relationships their value. If everyone could be their ultimate self all the time, there would be nothing special to being with someone whom you have the comfort to act as yourself around. Being able to trust someone with yourself is one of those few things that are personal to each of us, and impossible to replicate by an AI or a Mii or someone else. It means something different per person and cannot be replicated in any semblance. Not to mention the feedback loop that creates. People's individual personalities are often based off the individual quirks of someone else. We learn from each other, grow from each other. To be human is to choose who you are, and whom to show that self to. So, I can't live in this house. This is not where I fit in.
This isn't even your house.
Shush, shush, shush.
Please return my home to me. I've slept outside for 23 days already.
No, I said shush, shush, shush. I'm stalking a guy and pretending to have harder ADHD than it does for... Why am I doing this? Fuck it, video over. Wait, I forgot to mention how this video moves.